Many of the remaining members of that Asiatic Fleet and the South China Yangtze Patrol have gathered these past few days here in the city of Asheville to swap sea stories and remember their comrades. They've come here today with the rest of us to pay special tribute to that fleet and commemorate those men and women who gave their lives on the front line of battle during the early months of World War II.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
The ancient psalmist wrote these words: "They who go down to the sea in ships see the wonders of the deep." Today we honor those members of the United States Asiatic Fleet and the South Yangtze Patrol Asiatic Fleet. The city of Asheville was honored by having the USS Asheville bear its name. The USS Asheville was sunk on the 3rd of March, 1942 by enemy forces. We remember today here in the city of Asheville the officers and sailors who served in the United States Asiatic Fleet and the South Yangtze Patrol Asiatic Fleet. We honor those survivors. For those who are not present, grant that they may go from strength to strength in the heavenly kingdom. For those persons who made this day of dedication possible with such a turnout, you have earned the Navy well done. Amen.
It is indeed a pleasure to be here this afternoon. As a native of Asheville, I'd like to welcome each of you to my hometown, to the mountains of Western North Carolina. The legacy that you all have created for our community is not only exhibited here, but it's through the words that have been penned by Walter Ash in different articles in our newspaper, as well as in the hearts of citizens of Asheville. When Dr. Green, in 1918, asked that the Secretary of the Navy, Joseph Daniels, commemorate Asheville's legacy by having a ship named after it, I guarantee he never thought that we would have 4. Seeing that we're in the mountains of Western North Carolina, not near any water. But through the grace of God, we've had 4 ships. I would like to say, as a young girl, I remember my family and church members getting in cars and going down to see the dedication of the USS Asheville SSN 758. I spoke with my mom about that trip, and she showed me some pictures from where the church members had gathered together and members had had the opportunity to sing during the dedication. And I just want to say thank you so much for allowing my mom and others in our community to have a part in that dedication. More importantly, I thank you for your service to our country. Whereas the city of Asheville has had 4 United States Navy ships named after the city by the United States Navy, the current USS Asheville SN 758 still on active duty. And whereas the first USS Asheville Patrol Gunboat 21, commissioned on July 18, 1920, sailed the oceans of the Atlantic, the Caribbean, and predominantly the South China Sea, protecting American citizens and interests. And whereas the USS Asheville PG-21 fought as one of the ships of the United States Navy Asiatic Fleet in the Southwest Pacific area during the first months after the attack on Pearl Harbor on December 7, 1941. And whereas the United States Navy Asiatic Fleet, although consisting mostly of World War I vintage ships, was the only United States naval force which fought for the first 3 months in the Southwest Pacific against the overwhelming and technically superior Navy forces of Imperial Japan. And whereas the Navy men and women of the Asiatic Fleet fought courageously, yet in vain, against an insurmountable enemy, the fleet losing 22 ships and 1,826 men killed in action, and another 518 men and women placed in prisoner of war camps, many of those dying under inhumane conditions. With the USS Asheville PG-21 and her 160 men and among those losses, and whereas the remaining veteran members of the United States Navy Asiatic Fleet have come to Asheville, North Carolina from May 3rd to May 7th, 2006 to conduct a reunion and a memorial remembrance of their shipmates lost during the first dark days of the war in the Pacific. Now therefore, I, Terry M. Bellamy, Mayor of the City of Asheville, North Carolina, in honor and memory of the United States Navy Asiatic Fleet and the men and women who served in that fleet, and especially to commemorate the more than 2,000 men and women who gave their lives on behalf of our country. I do hereby proclaim today, May 6, 2006, as South China Yangtze Patrol, Asiatic Fleet, and United States Navy Asiatic Fleet Day in the city of Asheville, and commend this observance to the private, public, and corporate citizens of our city. And witness herefore, I have hereto set my hand and caused the seal of the city of Asheville, North Carolina, to be affixed upon this proclamation.
Thank you very much. I was aboard Marblehead and rode her back to New York. Primarily, when we left, we were hit and had 3 major casualties. One casualty I'm talking about a near miss, and then also 2 direct bomb hits. And any one of those had been 10 feet in any direction, the ship would not have lasted. When we come out of Jalapjap, the orders were at the time we left, like many of the other ships, were to proceed due west. And several ships ignored that, or made a decision, the captains made a decision. Marblehead, we proceeded down to almost to Christmas Island before they proceeded west, and then received to New York. We were hit on the 4th of February and arrived in New York on the 4th of May.